Welcome, everybody. This is Justin Letheby, the E-Professor. And today we are going to talk about, well, I'm going to give you a quick training anyways, on Opus Pro. AI is quite literally the hottest topic out there. It's been that way for over a year now. And more tools are coming out on a daily basis. One of them, my most favorite, I've been using since probably the last 3-4 months, is called Opus Pro, or as you see on the screen, Opus Clip. And what this tool is a caption creator, a generation creator, a reel short creator for you that you can take essentially your long form content, let it edit it and put it into short form reusable formats for Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, what have you. You can put it in all these different tools that you have in place for your business. And that's what we're going to go through today. Now, the reason I like Opus Pro, you're going to see that throughout class. But one of the things I want to tell you is I learned about it through watching other YouTubers and stuff like that. But it was also the 2024 South by Southwest pitch best in show winner. So it's out there and people know about this, and it's a good clip. So it'll create anywhere between a 30-second, 3-minute, even a 15-minute clip, depending on what you need to do, but it's going to auto caption what's going on. Now, the technology behind it is really kind of complicated, but what I want you to understand about this is essentially that you're going to take, again, your long form content, you're going to upload it in here either via link or just simply upload your file. And with that, you're going to start identifying what you want it to know about it, right? How long you want the clips to be. If you want to identify that, you're going to establish some keywords that are in place that you need to make sure that they want to focus on, or things that trend for your business and your industry. And then you will let it establish. And once you've done that, it'll just start creating them. Afterwards, you can review them, visualize them. If you do a 15-minute video, it'll probably create somewhere between 8 to about 13, probably 14 different videos throughout the thing. It's not taking every minute out there. It's going to cut stuff out. The longer your video is, the more material you have to go in place there. So, a couple things I need you to understand about Opus Clip right off the bat. One, you can sign up for it for free. It is a free tool for you to use. I'm going to tell you the bottom line here is that if you are doing this for free, you're only going to get so much. It is going to watermark it, which is fine in the end. But if you wanted to, you could actually pay for it, right? So when you look at the solutions that you have here, you got your free, as I was mentioning. And here you will see that it gives you 60 processing minutes per minute, or per month rather, and it is a lot. You'll see a lot of that out there. You're also going to see that it will render in 1080p, which again is great. It's going to auto reframe AI caption. It will have a watermark. You can't edit it, and after 3 days, the clips will no longer be exportable for your stuff. If you pay simply $9 a month in here, you're going to see you get 150 processing minutes per month. You can have AI animated captions on here, 20 languages, clipping with virality scores, which is what we're going to talk about, auto post, powerful editor, filler, silence, and remove watermark. And then the Pro, which is I pay, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you actually pay attention to what you're seeing on the screen right here, for 50 cents per month more, right now they got a really good deal going on where for the year you get to get this for 50 cents more per month, and you get all the stuff. You get 3,600 minutes, which is essentially 60 hours per year. You can have 2 people working at any point in time in your team. It actually has AI B-roll, which we'll show you, export to Adobe Premiere if you wanted to, multiple aspect ratios, which is great, social media scheduler if you want. This one is awesome for the paid, and I'm going to show you that. Up to 5 brand templates, and then you get support from it if you need it. But it's really super simple, and you probably will not need that kind of support in here. But If you do, it's there, and you can definitely use it. So even if you don't want to do all that stuff and you're okay with the watermark, which I'm going to tell you it's going to be okay, sign up for free. I would definitely use that. If you don't know where to find this, in the channel here itself, I will have a link to it there. You can sign up for it. It is an affiliate link, just all confirmations up front, just so you know what's going on. But I do want you to be aware of that because it's a super good tool. And you can see there's a lot of people using it right now. All right, with that, let's begin. All right, so how do you use Opus Pro? And again, remember, this is going to help chunk out your material. You can actually do long form and just have the captions put in, which is great. But I'm going to tell you, I think the repurposing of your long form content is going to be extremely critical and extremely helpful for your business. So all you have to do is come in here is either drop a link or put a okay, so to get started, I'm going to take one of these files. Now, what I'm going to show you right off the bat is here, I'm actually logged into my account. I actually do have a paid account, so you're going to see some things I can't do. I will do my best to show you the difference between the free and pay, minus the watermark, because I did think it was worth paying to get rid of the watermark. But I'll see that. So you'll see in here, I can drop a YouTube link, a Rumble link. I can do basically any video link that this system has access to. I use Streamyard as a software tool for doing live streams and stuff like that. I've actually put the link straight in from there, and it takes and chunks out the material for you. But again, if you don't have that, if you download it, you can easily just come in here and upload your video file. Notice that it does take most. You have an MP4, an MOV, MKV, and a WEBM file. You can just drag it here, or you can go to your Google Drive, or just click here and open up your files and do it. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a link, and I'm going to go back to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to use some links in here. I'm going to take some old content. Again, this is really good, especially if it's evergreen content, to be able to reutilize this information. So I'm just going to take this one here. It's a little older. I'm going to pick my link here. Paste that up here. Now, this probably will take a few seconds to recognize and read it, and it's going to, as you can see, it's going to take 48 minutes. Again, I got plenty of time in here. So if you're actually taking content and you're using it free, remember you get 150 per month, but it'll take content out of this would take almost a third of that out right off the bat. Just something you want to be mindful of. Notice right here, this is 720p. This is old material I used in an old format. It can, as you said earlier, come into 1080. I can pick my captioning. This is some new stuff at 48 minutes. And then down here, while this is doing this, I can come in here and I can identify my framing. This is if you're paying, how I want to have my template. I can come into my settings. We'll teach that, and I'll teach that in a different class, how to personalize this, but I can go to my settings and change that. But in here, if I just want to take the whole 48 minutes and just caption it, I could turn this on, and that's all it's going to do. What I also can do, this is new in 3.0, is I could try to identify the type of video. Q&A, commentary, marketing, webinar, academic, right? News, vlog, gaming, other. I could try to identify this. And this is not the worst thing. I'm going to do this as a webinar because that's what this was. I could also let it decide if I wanted to, right? And then I could decide in here what the preferred length is. Now, if I want to make sure I do this, and I always want to make sure that I am TikTok, all that kind of stuff friendly, I want to make sure I'm doing this. So I have in here, I could do under 30 seconds, 30 to 60. This will keep you well within YouTube Shorts. TikTok will let you do longer now, Reels, stuff like that. But if you're trying to stay within the YouTube world, you want to make sure you're 60 seconds or under, so that works. 60 to 90, 90 to 30, 3 to 5, 10 to 5 to 10, 10 to 15, I have that in place. I'm going to let the auto do it because I don't mind some of the longer forms. Again, I'm trying to repurpose the content. But down here, this is where I want to start making sure I put some of those keywords in here to help get those creative prompts and going what's on in place. So in here, this was a landing page one. I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to put Realtor. I'm going to put lead gen, Google. business pages, clients, conversion, internet lead generation. I'm going to put some of these in here, right? So I'm going to put these names in place. And then we're going to come in here, and I'm just going to say get with one clip. Now, the nice thing about this will take a little bit of time to get this done. And what we will see is tells us what we're doing, 0 to 47 minutes. It's going to take time away from me here in a second. It's going to take 16 minutes to produce all this, and it's analyzing the data. And through the efforts of time, you're going to see me transition here to when it's done. Okay, so through the miracle of time, we now have our video in place. And if I click on this video, you're going to see result matches for all my keywords up top here. So you do, again, want to be very sensitive and very critical thinking to what those keywords are going to be for several reasons. One, it's going to help give you an AI title. The AI does give a title. You can edit it when you put it into other tools in place. Not hard to do. But also, it's going to chunk out material from here when you pull this into place. Now, the other thing is you're going to see you have what is called a virality score. So it's going to give you a grade on hook, flow, engagement, and trend. And each one will give you a short little context of why the grading happened. So it'll help you go in here. Now, I can come in here right now.
Think like Toyota when it comes to brand image and brand recognition versus a competing real estate team that's out there. That's kind of where I would be.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Because again, going back to how we first started this, right? Those companies that are charging you $250, $400, $500 per zip code, save that money. That's the same money you're going to pay for these guys anyways, and it's going to give you such a better bang for the buck.
Think like Toyota.
So I created the video. I like this one. Now I could do, if I like the video, I can do one of two things really for it. I can download it right here, and I put that in place. Or I could come in here, I pay, so I get this option. I could come in here and post it to my social media, and I can schedule it through here. So in here, I can schedule to my YouTube Shorts. I can schedule it to TikTok if I have that. I can also do it to TikTok Inbox. I could do it to my Instagram Reels. I could do it to my LinkedIn account, and I also could do it to my Facebook business page. Right now, I also could do it to Twitter. Right now, as you see for me personally, I do it to basically two in here. I am kind of testing out a little bit on the Facebook business page on this to see what it looks like. So those are the two options. Again, if I download, it comes in here. I can then manually do it myself. I can go to TikTok on desktop and put it in here. I can use auto scheduling tools. I use a tool called SocialBee. I can put it in there for that. But if I come in here to the auto post, it's going to give it in here. I can change the title if I need to, put hashtags, whatever I want in place. Notice it does give me a brief description in here. I have private, public, or unlisted. I get to choose that. I get to then choose when I schedule it. I can choose a date. I can choose a time. And then when I say schedule, it will go out. Same thing with TikTok. I can choose, notice in here, it gives that in here. The big thing I want you to notice in here with this is it tells me and it identifies some of the hashtags in here. Now, what I'm going to tell you, I am testing this out. I don't know what it exactly looks like yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of times I am still going into TikTok and adding these manually because in there when I'm adding the hashtag, it kind of gives me how many people I'm looking at and how many people are going to be in there using that and seeing it potentially. So I will do that. But just as an example, again, I get to pick the time, the day. I get to come out here and pick the point, and then I say schedule, and I go. I could have said right then and there and scheduled, and it would have went out right now. So that's the first thing I want you to understand with this. The second thing I want you to understand with Opus in here, now notice it gives me, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I actually got, we're going to scroll all the way down. I got 28 of these. Notice some of these, the score gets low, but all of these are really pretty good. The lowest I got is 78 score. I usually try to stay between 90 and the upper 80s when I'm looking at these scores, so I usually like to have a few of these in place. Now, a couple things to note with this. Notice this video here. When I did my video in YouTube, it was side by side. It converted this so you saw both of us in here. I didn't have to do that editing. It did that editing for me. It's using its tools, its algorithms to break that up so we can see each people in here. If there's only one, it will see that. If I come into the next one, you're good.
This all got triggered from a post you did. I think it was an email, maybe it was a Facebook post. I forget what it was now, but it triggered this talking about advertising dollars, Facebook versus Google. Right. And so let's just talk about that. What are you seeing right now? How are you seeing the competitors play out with one another and basically fighting for our dollars?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, advertising on different platforms is always going to be big bucks for Google, for Facebook, all these different elements. And what we're seeing right now is definitely a showdown between Facebook and Apple.
Because this all got triggered.
Now, again, I do like that one, but here's what I'm going to show you in here. If I wanted to, I could just edit this. And when I look at this, notice in here, it tells me where I'm starting. It tells me where I'm ending over here on the left-hand side. It's got the video presets in place. And I can see that. Now, there's a couple things I can do. One, I can pick a couple things. If I pick on the word, it will let me correct the caption. Maybe the word's misspelled or whatever, it's there. I could add an emoji. I could change the font color, highlight color in if I wanted to. I could also set a new starting point. I also could set a new ending point. Or I could remove both the text and audio just from this section right here. So I could take it all out. Notice in here, and I don't know if you noticed it when I did this video, it actually just stopped some things right off the bat. The other thing that I can do in here, this is on the caption side, I can go to the design side, and I can decide what I'm looking for. I could do portrait. I could make this landscape. See how that changes it? I could do this as a square. Notice that probably doesn't come out as well. But I have this in place. I got that portrait in here. Now, I also have the ability to select out the layout preferences. It's going to decide what it wants to do. Autofill, split, 4, 3. If I don't like the result that it's giving me, I can kind of force the conversation. Usually, I'll be honest, it does pretty good. It's also what we're going to start seeing is it's not in here. Well, it's beta. But if I was screen sharing, kind of like what I'm doing here, you may see some of these videos taken out and put into a little screen share. I will see that, and I could probably do that from there. I haven't tried that one yet. And then I can figure out again what's the fit ratio, cross original ratio, 4:3, 1:1, what it is. But the other thing that I like in here, and this doesn't really fit very well for this one, but it actually has B-roll. And if you're paying in here, you can use your own video, your own stock. So if you're having conversations and you want to throw some sort of B-roll over the top of this, like you're talking about trendings in market and you just want to throw a flyover of a neighborhood, I could do that, and that flyover of the neighborhood would come when I'm talking about the market. And I could put that in here. The B-roll is really, really nice, and I could turn that on. I also have right now, you see auto emojis. You saw the thumbs up when I said I agree. It popped up there. And then we have in here captions. So in here, I can come out here and say, what is the format of those captions? As you can see, I've got this highlighted colors. That's the ones I like. But I can come in here and choose. I also can decide if it's 1 line or 3 lines. For this one, when I'm splitting the difference, I do like the 1 line. If it's just me talking, typically I do the 3. And then if I do this, I can do caption transition, bounce, underline, whatever, slide up, slide down, slide left. And then I can highlight my text color. I can pick my own. So this is where I can figure out my branding and stuff like that. Caption default. Am I going to do auto, top, middle, bottom? Again, I usually let the system decide this. But when I'm doing this, I can also then force it. I had a couple examples where I sit a little lower. There's a top that sits above me. So a lot of those things when I'm sitting, I will have that stuff come out here. But the auto always wants to force it on the bottom. I will force it to go up top. I get to pick my fonts. There's not a ton of them, but they're usually pretty good. I can pick my font style, size, stuff like that. I can choose if I want it to be all uppercase, which is what I do. Then I can pick my font color, my font stroke, and my font shadow. I typically will not mess with this a whole lot, in all honesty, because it knows what it knows, and I'm not good at it. But if you have those styles in there, feel free to edit them. And then I have my AI keyword highlights. Again, this I usually like to pick more of my branding color, so I could come out here and pick that, and then it will change. And again, if I wanted to, I could have a screen overlay like a logo. So like that, if I wanted to have something in the corner or something like that, I could do. If I do make any edits in here, I got to make sure I save and compile. But you'll also notice before I do that there are some preset templates in here. And again, you can edit some of these if you have your own you want to create, if you are paying. Once I say save and compile, this is going to come back to me, and it's going to make some edits in place. And you'll see how long it takes. And again, I get to do this through all of them and make these edits in place. It helps me. This is a good way to repurpose content, relive old content, repurpose existing newer content. This is a great way to make that happen for you. I'm going to recommend you play with this a little bit, see what goes on, right? Because you see some of these for me have a B trend, but a high score. I still use them and test them inside of YouTube to see how they are ranking and how they are getting eyeballs and impressions on my YouTube channel. Some things that you're going to definitely want to do. Now, with all of that being said, that's kind of the walk through the step-by-step scenario of what's going on in here. How do you do this? What do you do this for? How are you repurposing this material? How do you want to think about this? Well, for my small businesses, this is a great way of utilizing this for, again, right now, currently, under $10 a month, where you can take your existing video content or any new content you create and make it quickly reusable in short form. I recommend you let it do its system and put it in place and have it out there, and then have on your YouTube channel a little channel banner that has all your videos for that way. That when someone clicks on it, they can see all your other channels and other places. It's a great way to get people into your system. We don't know what shorts are going to do for YouTube. They like them. We don't know if it's going to mess with other people's algorithms when you're trying to grow that stuff, but we're just trying to garner attention. So when you're building those interviews with your local businesses, you're doing neighborhood walkthroughs and describing about that stuff, take that stuff in and think about biteable chunks and put those in there. When you are working in an area and you are talking about market stats, put that in here. Have charts in there, because as you can see, it will update that while you're talking. You'll be on one half, the chart will be in the other half. It's a great visual for a lot of folks. I don't necessarily agree that we have a shorter attention span of a goldfish, but our attention span is at a premium. And if you can communicate things quickly and quicker and get your point across, we are going to get more attention. So come in here to Opus. I recommend buying, but don't if you don't have to. It's easy enough with a watermark and cheap enough to get what we need to do on a daily basis. Get in there, though. Start playing with that tool. And if you have questions, reach out to me. Let me know. More training coming, and I hope you guys have a great day.